All right, so I want to talk about Ned Lamot. If you're not from Connecticut, you probably don't know who he is because, well, he's the governor. He's basically you wouldn't know who he is because he's basically like a do-nothing governor. Not to say that he's bad or good, but what I mean by do-nothing is, he's not egregiously terrible like Gavin Newsom or Kathy Hochul, but he's also not pretty good like Ron DeSantis. So, he doesn't make it really nationally. He's just kind of known to us. But he's also kind of do nothing because he doesn't really, as far as I know, I live here and there's nothing I can really think of that's good or bad about him. I mean, more or less, I've always just kind of felt not negative about him, but just because, he never does anything that's outstanding. Like, oh, wow, this guy's pretty awesome. He's a good governor. He's making our state where it should be, number one. No, it's like he's just riding the coattails. Like, oh, I got the position. Now I'm just going to hang out. But anyways, I wanted to talk about him because, there's a lot of issues that every governor should be worrying about for their state, and I just feel like our state is failing in some critical areas. Like, for example, I saw a tweet from him today, or whatever they're called now, a post, I don't know, today from him that said something about, if you're trying to be a dentist, or an electrician, or a doctor, or a nurse, or a teacher, and all, he had a bunch of things that he listed, that, Connecticut now will waive your licensing fee. Well, not waive them, but, Connecticut will basically pay for your licensing fee. Which on the surface is like, all right, that's cool. That's just slightly like an incentive. Not an incentive, but, something for these people that are in those fields or trying to be in those fields to look forward to. But I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, that's catering to a very, like, niche group of individuals. I'm not a dentist or any of those other fields. I don't know anybody who's trying to get into those fields. It's a very select few amount of people. So you're not really helping the whole state. You're helping who knows how many people. Hundreds versus how many are in our state. I don't know that answer either. But let's say there's 1 million and you're helping 100 people. Like, okay, cool. Also, his tweet, or whatever it's called, sounded like it was kind of directed at people to come into the state. It was like he wanted people from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, maybe even New York, to come work in our state. I don't really know what the benefit is of getting outside labor, but that's what it sounded like. He was trying to draw people in. Oh, come to Connecticut because we'll do this for you. And again, that does absolutely nothing for Connecticut residents. Like, okay, cool. So you're paying for this New Yorker to come get their license for free in our state. Are we able to take advantage of that as well? Like, or is it because, oh no, you live here, so you don't qualify? Like, if that's the case, that's even more ridiculous. But anyways, that's just a small thing that I saw today that I thought was pretty stupid. The big issue that I want to talk about was energy costs. So, as we know, energy costs around the whole nation suck. I mean, that's one of the big things Trump was campaigning on, was drill baby drill and all that to help get energy costs down so that then inflation can be reduced, etc., etc. But in Connecticut, our energy obviously would be like gas and electric, and we're serviced by a company called Eversource. Now, Eversource is exclusive to Connecticut. I don't know why, because all the rest of New England uses this other company called National Grid, but for some reason Connecticut has Eversource. Not sure how that happened, but it does feel a lot like Eversource is very monopolistic. Like they're taking advantage that they service us and us only, and we're kind of stuck. We don't have options. Like, at least these people on National Grid, even though it's National Grid, they sort of have options still. Like, it's almost like an oligopoly. Or at least that's how I've always interpreted it. I could be way wrong. Maybe it's just like a bigger Eversource. But that's how I interpret it. So if you're dissatisfied with one, you can go elsewhere. Technically, Eversource has that as well. Oh, you can get service from this place and this place and this place. But from what I've ever seen, every time I try to shop for rates, they're all higher. So the base one already sucks, and it's like, oh, well, let me try to see if I can get something cheaper, and they're all more. I'm like, well, why would I want to go to any of those? This one's 8 cents per kilowatt hour, this one's 9, this one's 12, this one's 15. Like, why would I want to switch to those? They're just worse. And, yeah, so anyhow, my gas, for example, my electric, not gas, in winter is usually like, I don't know, around $80, because, well, it doesn't matter why, but it's usually around $80. And then in summer, it's usually less because I'm not home as much. I'm outside, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Also, it gets dark out later, so my lights are off for longer. And since I'm outside, the TV's not on and all this. So it's usually way cheap. It's like $50 in summer, $80-ish in winter. Well, I've been running a space heater, which, okay, fine, that's sucking up some energy. But my last bill was $350 for electric, which was insane. 1 month, just a huge boost like that. What's that? $270 more? So that's one thing that's a problem. And then another thing that's impending that's going to be a huge problem is there recently was a letter that came in to, well, not really a letter, but like a newsletter that came in from Eversource to our emails, and it was talking about the gas. And, oh, we haven't updated our pricing since 2018 and blah, blah, blah. They plan on increasing our gas rates 49%. So to put that into numbers, let's say on average you use $100 worth of gas in a month. You're looking at $149 now. So for example, for me, my heat is gas. And in winter, my bill is usually lingers, same thing as electric. It's around 80. So let's just make it 100. Now I'm going to be looking at 150 next winter. So basically about 5 months is what I really use my heat for. From like late November, early December until about April, I have the heat on. And so now what? I'm going to end up paying like $250 more next year just for my gas to use it at the same level. I always keep it at 1.5. I have a dial, 1 to 10. I keep it at 1.5. I keep it super low as it is to not run up my costs. And now it's going to cost me $250 more a year to keep it at the same level. So either A, I got to turn it down to like 1 or just plain old half and have it be freezing in my place. Or B, I got to suck it up and pay this extra rates. Because Eversource is just constantly increasing their rates. And then they send you like their newsletters for the electric. Oh, we're going to be increasing our rates. And then they give you these stupid things. Oh, here's what you can do to keep your costs down. Here's an idea. Don't keep constantly raising your rates. When I use the same amount of electricity every month, but yet it keeps costing me more, none of your stupid tips and tricks work because you're the reason why I'm paying more. Not anything I'm doing. Anyways, I feel like it's unchecked. Like, our state just lets this happen. It seems like nobody's really tackling it. And so what I did recently was I tried to reach out to my state representative, which in my case is Joe Courtney. I reached out to him, took about a week, because obviously you don't get a real answer from somebody, which is annoying. One of my goals, as a side note, is I do want to get into politics. I hope to make it to be a state rep, and I hope to be a governor of the state so I can really turn this bitch around and make it an awesome place to be instead of like the crappy place that it is. Hartford's crime-ridden. Everything's expensive here for no reason. Oh, we have Greenwich. It's sexy there. Okay, what about the rest of the state? But anyways, that's beside the point. So you get a response from Joe Courtney, which feels generic. Like it's on an official letterhead, but like what it's typed out just seems like copy-paste. Like, oh, this is what I tell everybody. And anyways, it doesn't even answer my question. I'm asking about gas. He's talking about electric rates. And then he's referring me to like this company I can contact. Not FEMA, but it's something that starts with an F. And I'm like, okay, cool. 1, way to not answer my question correctly. And 2, why are you having me go to this company to voice my concerns? Isn't that what your job is? That's what you're elected for, to represent us. I came to you with a concern. Now you should take my concern and go to that company on my behalf. Don't tell me to go to the company. What are you doing then? As an elected official that you can't do your job. I'm a person that you're supposed to be representing. I came to you with a concern. Do your job. You contact that company for me. Even if you don't do anything with that company, contact them and forward the information they send you then. Do something. Don't just leave it on me. But regardless, we're not talking about him right now. We're talking about the stupid governor. So anyways, this dickhead, I don't know what he's ever done about Eversource. Clearly nothing, because these rates keep going up. And, he should have a serious sit down. He should meet with these mother effers, sit down with them, and be serious. This is what he should do. First off, he should come up with a task force. Not task force, but, a little committee. Have people that are very highly qualified, accountants, financiers, whatever, and have them investigate Eversource. Figure out what they're doing that their rates need to keep going up for, and figure out how they're wasting their money, clearly, because they're making tons of money from servicing the whole dang state. How do you need that much money and more and more and more and more and more? What are you doing? So first, look into that. Then look into where their energy is coming from. What are you using to provide energy? Do you have alternate options? No? Okay, suggest alternate options. Not wind, that's trash. But come up with alternate option. Maybe try to open some nuclear plants or something. I know that's controversial, but it's clean and highly effective and reliable. Then come up with ultimatums to them that they need to work with the people instead of constantly raising their rates. And if they don't, then we can let National Grid come in and work on dissolving them. See you later, Eversource. You lost your chance to service the state because you couldn't do it right. And then also, maybe offer some big discounts and rebates to the citizens to, like, get solar panels installed and stuff like that. Just something is better than nothing.